Hello, everybody. My name is Brad Wetherall, and I am the former Director of Operations for the Google Business Profile at Google. I spent 10 years working as the Director of Operations at Google. I recently left and have created my own consulting company where I help businesses and agencies get the most out of Google and my expertise. I recently presented this presentation, The Evolution of the Google Business Profile and its Future Role in the AI Overview, at the Brighton SEO Conference in San Diego. So I wanted to record this presentation and share it online for others to enjoy. So first, I'm going to give a little bit of information about myself. So I started working at Google in 2013, had a great tenure. My first product at Google was Google Wallet. I then went on to run the Google Business Profile, and then eventually ended up running the Google Merchant Center or Google Shopping, as well as Google Domains. But for 8 out of the 10 years that I worked at Google, I was managing the Google Business Profile. I had a great time during that tenure. You can see here a couple of photos starting from my first week at Google. Take my daughter to work day, meeting R2D2, and if there's any cricket fans out there, there's me meeting Adam Gilchrist, who is a very famous Australian cricketer. But you're not here to hear about me, you're here to hear about the Google Business Profile. And I expect that if you're familiar with the Google Business Profile, then you're probably also aware that it's had a bit of an identity crisis over the years. So I'm going to take a short trip down memory lane. In 2005, Google introduced its first local business platform. It was called the Local Business Center. And then it was known as the Local Business Center up until 2009, where it was rebranded as Google Places. It survived as Google Places for a couple years, then was rebranded to Google Plus Local, if anyone remembers Google Plus. And then finally, in 2014, it rebranded again to Google My Business. It had a pretty good tenure as Google My Business, and this is the time when I was working on the product. And I remember that as we were growing the product and we had aggressive goals to grow the product quite dramatically over the couple of years, especially in developing markets, we got a lot of feedback that the branding, Google My Business, was very confusing and people didn't even really know what it was. So in 2021, we rebranded yet again to the Google Business Profile. The story behind that name is that we really just wanted to name the product what it was, your business profile on Google, hence the name Google Business Profile. Ironically, however, almost everyone still refers to this product as Google My Business. I've even heard some people refer to it as Google My Profile. Go figure, right? That being said, the product has changed quite a bit in the last decade. Some of the biggest changes that I was involved in, I'm going to highlight for you today. One of them being what we refer to internally as the new merchant experience. The problem that we were experiencing was that, similar to that of the name, people were confused that in order to edit their business data on Google, they needed to go over to business.google.com, make some changes, and then that change that they would make over here would be reflected over on the consumer surfaces in search and maps. And it was just a very difficult mental model for people to understand. So we decided to invest in more of a what you see is what you get style editor. And that was what the new merchant experience was all about. It was about bringing editing capabilities directly into the consumer surfaces, into search and maps. So now, when you need to edit a business listing, you can go straight to search for your business. You will see a section that is only visible to you or the owner of the business, and you can make edits to your listing directly in line. That being said, business.google.com has not gone away. It is still used today by large multi-location businesses or agencies, but there is some limitations there, which has created an opportunity in the market for software companies that do listing management to help fill the gaps and do bulk editing. Another big change that I was involved in was the evolution of verification. I still remember to this day when I started working on Google My Business that they explained to me that the method of verification that we did was to send a postcard to the business. I originally thought that was a metaphor for something. I didn't actually think we would take a piece of paper, put a stamp on it, put it in the mail. Like, this is Google, right? Like, why are we using the mail system? But it made sense to me after a while because the whole point of verification is to confirm two things. One, the existence of the business, and two, that the affiliation that you have to that business, that you are an authorized representation of that business. So it turned out postcards were a great way of confirming both of these two requirements. If we could send you a letter, then we're confirming your physical location. If we could send you that letter with a code and you take that code and you connect it to your online presence, your email address, then that proves your affiliation to that business and to the mail that we sent. So it was a really great way to complete the verification process. However, it was incredibly inefficient and prone to error. If you accidentally clicked the postcard request twice, it would generate two letters with two different codes. The first one wouldn't work, the second one would. It was incredibly problematic, and as the leader of the support organization, that was our number one issue across the board, was how to complete verification. In fact, since leaving Google and entering into the consulting world, verification continues to be one of the biggest problems that people encounter, even navigating the video verification process. So if you need help with that, you can definitely contact me and I can help you through it. But in the hopes that you don't have to do that, here are my 5 tips to help you with video verification. Starting with number 1, show the location. You want to be able to show the location by going outside, pointing the camera at some street signs, show the number on the building. If there are no cross streets anywhere near, show a landmark, a neighboring business, something that Google can use to say, okay, this is physically where you are in the world, and I can independently verify that by looking at maps or other third-party data. We need to know where in the world you are, so show your location. The next thing you want to show is that your business exists at that location. So the best way to do that is to show a business sign. So point the camera to your building, show the signage that you have that is advertising that is the place that your business exists. The next part is affiliation. So this is really where you have to show that you are an authorized member or representation of that business. So to show affiliation, the easiest way to do that would be, if it's a storefront business, show yourself unlocking the door to the business. Only an authorized individual of the organization will have the keys to the building to get into the storefront, so that is a really good way to show affiliation. If you are a service area business, perhaps show your company car that has your logo on the side of it, show your tools, but also show yourself starting the car or unlocking the car to show that you have access to that vehicle. That is a great way of showing affiliation and connecting your affiliation to the business. And then number 4, show any type of documentation that connects these 3 things together. The best document that you can provide is an authorized document, so either from a government and agency, a utility bill or something like that, business license documentation, that shows your name, the business's name, and the address. If it has all 3 of those things, that's the best type of document that you can provide, because not only are you showing existence, you are also showing affiliation, all with that one piece of paper. So show that document in order to prove existence and affiliation. And then finally, tip number 5, do not show sensitive personally identifiable information, or SPII. Google doesn't want to record any faces of people that aren't affiliated to the business. If you're showing a bank statement, We don't want to see the account numbers, the bank account numbers, or any type of sensitive information, social security numbers, none of that. If Google detects that in the video, they will delete it immediately. So do not include sensitive, personally identifiable information. That will get deleted, and you'll have to do the video verification over again. And then finally, I wanted to confirm that bulk verification is possible. If you're not familiar with bulk verification, it's a process where if you have 10 or more listings of the same brand, you can verify a corporate entity so that after 10 or more listings, you can add those listings to your account without having to go through and individually verifying each location. It is encouraged that large businesses actually use the bulk verification process. The reason why I say this is I was recently consulting with an agency who was bidding for some business, and one of the competitors going for that business was told the customer that bulk verification is impossible, and if anyone who tells you otherwise is lying to you. Well, as someone who implemented this process, I want to set the record straight to say bulk verification is possible. It is encouraged for businesses with more than 10 locations. If you need help navigating that process, my QR code is on the screen. Please feel free to contact me and I can walk you through that process. So the last thing I would say that I was working on at Google before I left that was a major change in the way that search operated was what we referred to internally as the Search Generative Experience, or SGE. Externally, this is now referred to as the AI Overview. You may be familiar with it when you do a search on Google. You'll see a section that is AI generated. So the AI Overview is a Google search feature that uses artificial intelligence to summarize search results with key information and links to related resources. Why am I saying this? Because the Google Business Profile feeds information to the AI Overview. So I wanted to be able to talk through the ways in which it does that. So in order to articulate that, I simply asked Google, how does the AI Overview use the Google Business Profile? And the handy dandy AI Overview came back with some results in it, and it confirms to me that the Google search does heavily leverage information from the Google Business Profile. It uses GBP reviews to provide insights into customer experiences, which can potentially influence the overall perception of the business. And it also uses local data to prioritize information from the Google Business Profile to display the most relevant details based on a user's proximity. So there are a number of ways in which the information that businesses are contributing to the business profile is being leveraged by this AI engine to create a persona about your business. In other words, GBP is fueling the AI engine that is going to become the future of search. So I wanted to give you an example of where we're seeing this take place today, even beyond the AI Overview. So the conference that I was speaking at was in San Diego. While I was in town, I was curious on if there was a karaoke bar that I might want to attend. So I did a quick Google search on a karaoke bar in San Diego. I want to draw your attention to the second listing here. It's a bar called Werewolf. I've shown the business profile here on the right-hand side. It's a good restaurant, 4.6 stars, lots of good reviews. The thing that I wanted to draw your attention to, however, is that the reviews that are showing up in the 3-pack, as well as directly on the business profile in the review summary, all include the keyword karaoke because that was in my search criteria. So we're already seeing what they said in the AI Overview where Google is leveraging business profile data to influence the overall perception of the business, right? In this case, it's showing that it is a great place to go and maybe sing some karaoke. So to test this theory further, I changed my query, and instead of asking for the best karaoke bar, I asked for what is the best bar in San Diego. No mention of karaoke. You'll notice that Werewolf shows up again, but this time, also in the number 2 slot, but this time it doesn't mention anything about karaoke. Instead, it mentions that it's got the best tequila gimlet and it's got delicious food and drinks. So you can see how Google is already adapting the review summary and the information that it's providing in the local pack to the search criteria based on what it believes is the persona of that business. So just imagine if you're not managing these reviews and if you're not managing your presence on Google or your Google profile, the risk that you run is that you're not feeding the AI engine. So when people inevitably ask Google about your business, what is that AI overview going to say? If you're not managing this data, you're not investing in the description that Google will use to represent your business. Now, as an ex-Google employee, I'm all about the numbers. So I wanted to share some numbers with you here today. The first one, 90%, is Google's global search market share. And that is the global market share. If you zoom in a little bit so that you look at mobile searches in the United States, then that number goes up to 95%. So 95% of searches on mobile in the US are on Google search. 46% of global search queries have local intent. This is where the Google Business Profile data is shown. It shows in the local pack for 46% of global search queries. 95% of consumers will look at reviews and will check the reviews before making a buying decision. So not only are reviews important to contribute to your brand and the persona of your business, but it's also really important as a conversion factor to help people make a decision on whether to buy your services or goods. And then finally, an interesting statistic is that replying to reviews is also incredibly important. So it's not just getting reviews, it's replying to the reviews as well. We've been able to show that a 10% increase in replying to reviews leads to a 3% increase of impressions. So a little bit of investment in replying to those reviews can actually result in a lot more business. And so today I've been talking a lot about how important GMB is. Yes, I need to be on top of my reviews. So a lot of people ask me what's the best way to do that. And so I am working with the GMBAPI.com software team. They're an incredibly successful listing management company out of Europe that are now coming to the United States. And so we're launching GMB API in the United States, and it's a listing management provider that has all of the amazing functionality that you need to manage your business profile. It uses health scores that are created by Google experts to identify what needs to be looked at for each of your listings. It includes reputation management for review management. It includes postings, reporting and analytics, and AI A/B testing capabilities. It uses customizable AI responses to reply to those reviews, and it even monitors for deleted reviews as well if that's a problem that we've been experiencing. And all of that functionality comes at a price tag that's less than 10% of the major competitors. GMB API has incredibly transparent pricing model, and as you can see, it is incredibly competitive. I would encourage you, if you're curious, GMB API offers a free trial, no credit card required. Log in, connect your listings, and take it for a spin. I think that that's how I got connected with this business, and I was very impressed with the level of service that they provide. But don't just take my word for it. The customer's voice is very strong as well. People are very impressed with the platform and have seen tremendous results. So give it a go. Go to gmbapi.com and try it for yourself. Thank you so much, everybody. It was a pleasure presenting at Brighton. I'm glad I have an opportunity to post this presentation now. If you have questions for me, if you'd like to work with me in my consulting business, the QR code on the screen will take you to my website where you can book a consultation. I've also listed the website address of GMB API. So thank you so much for your time. I hope you enjoyed this presentation and hope to see you around.